General Hospital spoilers reveal heated confrontations, dangerous situations, worried loved ones, and so much more. You won't want to miss a moment of this exciting new episode. Ava, Maura West, did her best to give Carly, Laura Wright, a lesson in grace and forgiveness, explaining that life feels better when you don't hold on to hate in your heart. Carly doesn't seem to want to hear any of it, but when Nina, Cynthia Watros, arrives to find comfort with her BFF, Carly is forced to talk to her. Carly is surprised to hear that Michael, Chad Duell, invited Sunny, Maurice Bernard, to the wedding but not Nina, and she is happy to learn that Sunny will be there. Carly even rubs it in when she tells Nina that Sunny is finally choosing to put his family ahead of her, but GH spoilers tease that Carly tries to make peace. Does Nina say something else that allows what Ava told her to sink in? Will she finally put a mother and a daughter ahead of her own hatred for Nina and allow them to have moments together before Willow, Caitlin McMullen, possibly dies? The only way Willow doesn't die is if Liesl, Kathleen Gaddy, makes it back to Port Charles in time to donate her bone marrow, but the situation on the Haunted Star doesn't look good at all. Victor, Charles Shaughnessy, now knows that Trina, Tabiana Ali, is on board, but when she and Spencer have a moment alone, all he can do is praise her for possibly saving them. Victor also spends time with Bone Marrow Liesl and tells her he is glad she decided to do what is right and join in on his plan to save the world and kill half of humanity. Liesl does not look amused, while Ava tries to lend comfort to Portia, Brooke Kerr, as they commiserate over what happened to Trina, Curtis. Donald Turner has his own idea. He is desperate to find the young woman he thinks of as a daughter, and who might actually be his daughter, but is tired of waiting for the cops to do their job. To that end, he decides to seek some help and turns to his old buddy Drew, Cameron Matheson. Drew has already dropped the ball on the Victor case by not helping Emma, Finola Hughes, and Valentine, James Patrick Stewart, as much as he said he would, so maybe he is ready to make up for his past failures by teaming up with Curtis to find Trina. Curtis wants him to recall those Navy SEAL skills that are supposed to be on a flash drive. However, Drew had already recalled those skills before. Are we trying to pretend that it never happened when Curtis asked Drew to dig deep into his memory? In case you missed it, there were some incredible performances last week on General Hospital. If there is one thing Carly Spencer is known for on General Hospital, it's staying calm in a crisis and never ever making an already bad situation worse. Now that GH spoilers reveal her son Michael is furious at his adoptive dad, Sonny, for leaving Carly and taking up with Nina, only one person can reunite these two stubborn men. Is Carly, Laura Wright, that person though? Sure, Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, seems to think so. But we wondered what calmer heads are thinking. Here's what almost 2,000 voters have to say about that. Michael, Chad Duell, has always been a mama's boy, 3% of fans remind, which is why you expect him to heed anything Carly has to say. Over 2 decades ago, Carly decided that she wanted Sonny, Maurice Bernard, to be Michael's dad. Well, okay, first she wanted it to be Jason Steve Burton, but that didn't work out. And what Carly wants, Carly gets. Or else. Michael will not want to face the or else. He'll do as she says. Sonny is the one who will listen to her 15% counter. In the end, Sonny always does what Carly wants, from adopting Michael to coming back to her, even when a part of his heart remained with Nina, Cynthia Watros. Sure, Sonny is with Nina now, but that's because Carly hasn't put much effort into getting him back. The minute she does, he'll come a-running, and he'll make up with Michael, because Carly says so. But in the end, a whopping 82% of viewers expect both Sonny and Michael to toe the line. Carly will tell them why they should do what she says, and then they will do what she says. Carly is tired of the feud, which means this feud must end. Hug it out, boys. Say you're sorry and focus your attention back on worshipping me. The General Hospital recap features Trina Robinson sabotaging the ship before she was sabotaged herself. In this episode, Trina snuck around the Haunted Star until Victor figured things out. Spencer was relieved she made it out of the communications room and was tasked with calming a colicky ace. Austin and Elizabeth had to reassure Esmond that a little colic might make a baby hurt and cry, but it won't kill him. Michael asked Sonny to his wedding, but not Nina. while Ava did her best to get Carly to see how good a forgiving heart can feel. Now let's dig a little deeper into the details. Trina, Tabiana Ali, made it back to Spencer's Nicholas Alexander Chavez stateroom, where he was going crazy worrying about her. She wanted to bring him food since Victor Charles Shaughnessy was starving him, but he told her not to risk it, so she showed him the walkie-talkie she swiped from the communications room. Spencer loved hearing how his grandmother was able to help Trina navigate her way around the communications room. However, he was still a frantic mess as he quickly told Trina the highlights of Victor's deranged plan to save the world. Spencer even worried that Nicholas learned the truth and Victor did something to him to stop him from talking. Knowing Victor's plans to alter humanity and the planet made Trina more determined than ever to reach the engine room, so she left to do just that despite Spencer's pleas. Victor learned that Ace was quite fussy and wouldn't stop crying, but was even more annoyed when he learned that there was a walkie-talkie missing. He blamed all the problems on the help. However, he did decide to do something about the baby and brought him to his big brother so Spencer could soothe him. Spencer had to explain colic to a clueless Victor while telling him that Ace would be much better off staying with Spencer than a nanny. Victor was called away and learned there were some engine problems. He finally figured out someone had been causing diversions to sabotage the ship. Later, Spencer was surprised when Victor had him brought to the dining, only to be horrified when Victor's goons walked in with Trina Curtis. Donald Turner arrived at GH to find Laura, Jenny Francis, checking Esme, Avery Kristen Pohl, out of the hospital. Elizabeth, Rebecca Herbst, gave Esme her discharge instructions, but she insisted on speaking to Austin, Roger Howarth, about Ace's colic. So Elizabeth brought Franco, or Austin, to her, and he assured her that Ace would be just fine despite being young and having tummy problems. Elizabeth reminded Esme that Spencer was with the baby, so he was receiving comfort, and Esme just took that as Liz saying Ace didn't need her. Liz and Austin both made sure to compliment Esme's parenting skills to make her feel better. Later, Elizabeth told Austin about when one of her own children was kidnapped, and he felt for her. He then asked her why Nurse Emmy Risa Dorkin was giving him strange looks. Elizabeth asked Emmy what was wrong, so Amy just told him to stop seeing Ava Mora West. Emmy continued to gossip about Ava and Nicholas until Liz sent her away. Eva soon arrived and Liz was confused when Austin told her that things were not always what they seemed. Oddly enough, Austin seems to many like a man Liz once knew, but too bad it's not him. Elsewhere in the hospital, Laura did her best to talk Curtis out of going rogue, but Curtis wasn't satisfied with everything the authorities were doing. When Esme reappeared, ready to go home, she told him that she appreciated Trina being so nice to her. When Esme went to get a drink, Curtis asked Laura if she really believed she had no memory of what she did, and Laura said yes. She then started talking about human memory being an odd thing, and it occurred to Curtis that Drew's, Cameron Matheson, old memories could help them find a ship at sea. Sunny, Morris Bernard, brought Nina, Cynthia Watrous, into the hospital chapel for a quiet talk and informed her that Michael, Chad Duell, and Willow, Caitlin McMullen, would be getting married the next day. Nina realized that Willow was planning her death and was saddened and horrified. Michael soon called and said he wanted to stop by. When Michael arrived, Nina kindly wished him and Willow luck on their big day and exited the room. Once alone, Michael invited his father to the wedding but made sure to tell Sunny that the invite was for him and not Nina. That is when Nina returned and overheard what Michael had to say, leaving her devastated. Still, she put on a brave face and tried not to show her hurt. Sunny wasn't even sure he was willing to go without her, but Nana insisted he should. Michael clearly felt awkward about the situation, especially when Nina only seemed concerned about Willow's health. She then asked Michael and Sunny to just tell Willow she was thinking about her before running from the chapel in tears. When Nina was gone, Sunny reluctantly told Michael he'd be at the wedding. At Windermere, Ava and Grace Scarola bonded over evening puzzles when Carly, Laura Wright, stopped by for a visit to tell Ava about the imminent wedding and ensure that Avery could be the flower girl. Avery was thrilled to take on the job, but after she went to bed, Carly and Ava talked with them both, agreeing the wedding could be life-affirming. Ava asked Carly if Sunny and Nina would be invited to the wedding. Carly defensively said this was up to Michael and Willow, and got even more defensive as Ava quietly pushed the idea. Carly asked her why she even cared, and Ava reminded her that Nina was her BFF. Ava ensured Carly knew that Nina was devastated about what was happening to Willow, but this just made Carly nastily ask her why she would be friends with Nina when they couldn't have anything in common besides how they felt about her. Carly reminded Ava of how Avery was born, with Nina inducing her labor during a psychotic break and taking the newborn. Ava admitted that was hard to get over, but reminded Carly what forgiveness and grace were all about, telling her that Nina is a changed woman because of it. Ava admitted she couldn't forgive everything, but she does not see Nina as the same woman as before. She also enjoys not carrying around such hate in her heart. Carly just continued to be condescending and nasty to Ava, but Ava did not give up. Instead, she did her best to get Carly to see she could be the person who heals some emotional wounds, rather than perpetuating them. Carly then went deep and asked Ava if what she did to Morgan kept her up at night. After all, Carly may have deprived Nina of her daughters, but Ava's actions inadvertently took Morgan's life. Carly only coexists with Ava for Avery's sake. Ava seemed to understand that but pointed out that time was running out for one parent and her child. That didn't deter Carly as she blurted out that Ava only wanted to fix Nina because she couldn't fix Trina. That made little sense to Ava, so Carly was forced to tell her that Trina was aboard the Haunted Star. Ava asked Carly to stay and look after Avery so she could visit Portia. Carly agreed but was later surprised to see Nina at the front door.